Energy transition is going to be slowed if there's not enough lithium. Is technology going to be able to come to the fore? I'm with September Izatt. He is president and CEO of IBC Advanced Technology. Stephen, how you doing?
Great, Michael. Good to be with you.
I want to get to IBC in a moment and what you're working on, Steve. But first, could you bring us up to date? What is lithium extraction like right now? What are the current technologies?
Well, Michael, we find ourselves in a situation where the demand for lithium is skyrocketing on an asymptotic geometric curve, essentially. But we're dealing with what I would characterize as old techniques that have worked in the past because of the very low lithium demand. But in today's world, they just aren't going to get there. So we're primarily talking about solar evaporation ponds. That's essentially how lithium is currently put onto the market. You have an 18, 24-month delay from the time you take it out of a salar. And not only that, but what you get out of the salar is 40, 50% recovery rates. You use a lot of water, just a lot of problems with that. And so what we really need, as in any industry, we need to get things quicker, we need to get things more efficiently, and we need to get them to the market in the best way possible.
Now, since the pandemic, I see there's been about a tenfold increase in lithium prices. I mean, that metal has just been on fire, Steve. There's a lot of money that is coming into the space right now. Generally, what is the field right now in terms of technology or solutions that people are looking for actually getting more lithium?
Well, the issue I just raised about the solar ponds, this problem is exacerbated with this high price of lithium because every minute lithium is sitting in the pipeline, so to speak, it's costing money. And so the higher the prices go, the more money's in there, and that's just sitting there for 2 years. Now, what people have done is what I've seen over the years in a number of industries, frankly, is that they've pulled in technologies that are, I would say, that have traditionally been used in the last century, invented in the last century, used in the last century. And these tend to be ion exchange, solvent extraction, absorption. These are what we would call basic separation technologies. And people have looked to these to sort of come to the rescue, if you will. And although they appear to solve the one problem of faster throughput, they have a lot of other issues.
Talk about IBC technology, Steve.
Yeah, so what we do is molecular recognition technology. We've been in business for 35 years, and we've applied the technology to a wide range of metal processing situations. Lithium, of course, is something that we're very interested in. We're taking the already developed technology and we're applying that to the lithium space. The key difference with molecular recognition technology is very simple. It's highly selective. So in other words, when you say you want lithium, it grabs lithium. That's in contrast to other technologies that take lithium and things that look like lithium: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. And that delays everything, all the processing. And so, as I just mentioned, although the problem of extracting lithium can be solved, you're getting lithium along with everything else. In the case of IBC, we're getting lithium. And to the extent you can just get lithium and get it very pure and get it at a high extraction rate, high yield, you can then directly make that into an end product. And that's what we do with our direct lithium to product process.
You have a pilot plant that you signed with Simco Lithium. I believe that was in the spring, Steve.
Yeah, so our pilot plant is undergoing phase 1 testing right now. It's operational in Chile, and we'll be producing product from that this year at a phase 1 level. The pilot plant is really meant to validate, if you will, existing technology that we already have, and we've already shown through our test work there, 99% recovery from the salar of lithium. So we're getting very high yields directly out of the salar. And I might mention that this confirms other test work that we've also done that I'm not at liberty to talk about, but it's confirming what we have done in a number of industries to this point.
Steve, help me out. I know you don't want to get into, I know there's some details you don't want to divulge, but I hear from yourself and a lot of other technology providers that are having pilot plants. Generally, what is a successful pilot plant? How much are you talking to the customers? And I imagine there's kind of trade-offs between also, making it flexible enough, and then also at the same time having enough scale so you can actually make sure that it actually is kind of a real world example. And then also, I don't know, generally what types of metrics do you need for these things, and how much study should you have?
So Michael, we go through a 3-step process in our company that we've developed over the years. And that is, number one, we bring samples into a laboratory setting. We confirm all of the separation parameters. And once we have that well assessed, we take that information and we go to a larger scale, and that larger scale can be very large, or it can be not very large. I mean, it really doesn't matter, frankly. It's just a scale up from the laboratory to show industrial scale separations, and that's where we are currently in Chile. From there, we go directly to an industrial size plant. Now, we've used this formula over the years with much success. Pilots, so we're not piloting to say, does it work? We're piloting to validate the results that we've already achieved in the laboratory. And we have enough experience with our technology that we know laboratory results scale very well with our technology. And again, that's because of the high selectivity that we exhibit.
You've emphasized with the process that you have is that it has low emissions, it has low waste. When you're dealing with a customer, though, where is that coming from? So in terms of meeting, I guess, kind of broadly in terms of ESG, is this a request that is coming directly from the company? Is a company adhering to government regulations, or is it dealing to other customer requirements? And also, when these are done broadly, what types of standard bodies are you kind of meeting to, or is this just kind of agreement between you and the customer?
Well, what we're finding as we interact with customers, and I think anyone who's aware of the news would find the same thing, but the environmental considerations are paramount. The lithium industry simply is not going, the lithium extraction industry is simply not going to grow and provide the lithium we need if it can't do it in an environmentally friendly way. I mean, I think that's just full stop the way it is. So companies are very interested. In fact, it's critical to their survival to have an ESG positive impact. Our technology delivers that. Emissions, waste, all of the low use of water, of reagents. We recycle our water, we recycle reagents, so we essentially have no use of water, no consumption, I mean. So these are very critical considerations, especially when you take into account indigenous communities around these salars. There have been, as you know, in the news, there have been several instances where this has been a major stumbling block for companies. I mean, the days are long gone that a company can march into an indigenous community and just say, okay, I'm going to extract this resource. I mean, you've got to make very certain that there's the buy-in there, and that buy-in is contingent on having environmentally friendly technology.
Stepping back, Stephen, what are you paying most attention to in the battery material space that people might not be paying attention to?
My observation is that there are a group of people that I would call, ultimate end users, let's say consumers, right? And I think the general thought is, well, gee, we're going toward electrification and it'll just happen somehow. Those materials will just somehow show up and there they are. I think what's not realized, and actually is not realized on a professional level, I don't think to the extent it should be, is that the extraction of these metals, including lithium, frankly, if they're done the wrong way, can be very dangerous. And one needs to be looking and employing technologies that don't create an additional environmental burden, but indeed they reduce it. And the only way to really do that is I'll say it again, is to be highly selective. Because once you can go in and take out an element and leave everything else behind, and you can do that at high yield, essentially quantitatively, you don't have a long process downstream that you need to deal with in converting that to a lot of other things. And it's that process downstream that creates a lot of waste. It's energy intensive, and it's very expensive. And so that's why the DLP process that we have is really the one to be looking at in this space, because it doesn't increase the environmental burden. And that is extremely important.
Lastly, Steve, milestones over the next 12 months.
No, Michael, we're inundated right now, frankly, with requests to get this technology deployed, and we're running as fast as we can to do that. This whole increase in lithium demand and what the future holds is weighing heavily on lithium producers. And so our milestones really are ones of deployment of technology, installation of plants, and getting lithium to market.
Steve, thanks for speaking with Kitco.
Thank you.
He's Steve Izatt. He is President and CEO of IBC Advanced Technologies. My name is Michael McRae, and you're watching Kitco Mining.